Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys, and this is another Supergirl review for you guys. So we are here at Supergirl Season 5, Episode 13, or the 100th episode of Supergirl. And man, this episode was really freaking good. A lot of character development for, well, especially Kara. If not, one of her best moments of getting character development in a long time. This is one of my favorite Supergirl episodes of all time. And yeah, I don't see how you can hate on this episode. I thought, they did a really good job with this 100th episode. It wasn't, the best 100th episode, but it was still pretty good. I'm not gonna hate on it. Supergirl had a pretty good, 100th episode, and yeah, for what the rest of the season be turning out like, it's gonna be good. It's looking like it's gonna be good. So anyways, like I said, this is Supergirl Season 5, Episode 13. So we leave off from, if you remember from last week, Mr. Mitchell Pillock, he shows up at the end of last week's episode. And we get a confirmation that I'm just gonna call him Mixie for short, because that's what they call him. Mixie, because Kara was shocked, like, you didn't look like this. Why you, like, this is not your form, or this is not your look. And he's like, well, you see, what was there was me in a different form, just to, like, essentially impress her, and stuff like that. So the person who he was now was his current form and stuff like that. And essentially, because now he doesn't have access to his magic, essentially he can only help the people out who he did wrong by. So obviously Kara is one of those people he messed with and he did wrong by them, and yeah. So he essentially offers Kara a chance to essentially do over the Lena situation on essentially telling Lena, that she's Supergirl and trying to fix it. She then, it's funny because he gives her this tape recorder. He's like, look, you can just say my name and then it'll banish me to the fifth dimension. So the moment she gets a chance, she banishes him and stuff like that. And she eventually starts talking with John and Alex, and basically, tells herself, like, look, I want to actually, change, the timeline and, essentially fix things and, make Lena understand that it's okay that I'm Supergirl and stuff like that. So essentially, she wants, Lena to stay her friend and still tell her that she's Supergirl. So Mixie shows up yet again through the refrigerator, and he's like, okay, I'll help you. So he later sends Alex and John to, I guess, this other place, and it cuts to them. He says, oh, they're in their fun place doing their favorite thing. And it cuts to what Alex and John are doing, and they're in like some kind of paintball area, and they're playing paintball. And we don't see them for a while, until the legit the last part of the episode. So anyways, he fires up like this, like the old like movie camera things when they would show at theaters, they have the film and stuff like that. And essentially he shows her like different time, and with this he can show her different timelines from the past, to try to fix this Lena situation. So essentially the first thing Kara does, she goes to the time, before Mercy attacks. So she goes to that timeline, and essentially, she tells Lena that she is Supergirl, and that was, that was back when, I forgot what season it was, but I don't know what season, but that's when they had the little discussion and stuff like that, in her office and stuff like that. She tells Lena that she's Supergirl, and when Kara has to go save the day, she comes back, Lena's gone. Only when, it cuts back, now Mr. Mitchell Pillock and Kara, they're watching the film on what events are happening after, she tells Lena. So what happens is that Lena goes to Metropolis and meets up with Sam, who we all know who is Rain. She tells Sam that Kara is Supergirl. So yeah, obviously, Sam said she'll like I'll always be there for you and I'll be your friend and stuff like that, and they hug. Now, the one thing throughout this episode is that there was always a repercussion for everything Kara tries to change. So in the first timeline, she tried to change with Lena. The repercussions for her actions is the fact that if Kara had told Lena um, that she was Supergirl at that point in time, um, Kara would actually end up dying because Lena would not save her because the kryptonite gas would go into the air. And you remember, she fell down, Kara fell down from flying, and she essentially died. So, or essentially, she was put essentially in that, comatose state. And we all remember that Lena was the one that brought her back to life, Kara back to life. Well, because of the fact that Lena now knows, and she, I guess in a word, feels betrayed or upset, she doesn't go to save Kara. So it ends up the kryptonite, releasing into the air would end up killing Kara, and Kara would die. And you see where Kara has a gravestone, um, and essentially it shows Alex, who is literally like broken, crying in tears and everything, and essentially just looking at her grave saying how much she misses Kara and that she can't. She was a thing. She was the person that kept, willing her on and doing the things, and she doesn't, and she's unsure if she doesn't know if she can continue moving on without her. So obviously that was pretty sad. And Kara's like, okay, okay, turn that off, turn it off. I don't need to see no more. I don't need to see no more. So, anyways, we go back to the time. So, anyways, it cuts later, and or Missile Pillock finds the timeline where it goes back to the part where Kara asks Lena, like, "Do you have kryptonite?" When she got all pushy about that, and when Lena had that little bit of distrust towards Supergirl. Um, so she goes back to that time. She does tell Lena that she's Supergirl. The only thing is, Lena gets even more heated, if not just as much heated as she currently was when she finally found out from Lex. Well, in my opinion, she looked like she got even more heated because she was like, why are you telling me this now? Sam's going crazy, da 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 da. Now you're telling me you're Supergirl? Oh, so now you would, stuff like that. So, we're still in that same timeline. She cuts to talking to Mon-El, and it was great to see the actor that plays Mon-El again. Man, Mon-El, it's been a long time coming. But she talks to Mon-El about the issue, and essentially he's like, look, just give it some time. Eventually she feels hurt, but she'll get over it, and then when she's finally ready to talk and become friends and talk this whole issue out, she'll be ready. Now, obviously, like the last timeline thing, obviously there's repercussions for Kara's actions for telling Lena at this point in time. So the repercussions for Kara's actions is, yes, if you remember, they attack Rain at her at Sam's grandmother's, I think it was her mother's house or something like that. And essentially, it looks like, Lena stops Rain, but Rain uses her heat vision to essentially, or she shoots her heat vision through Lena's heart. And then Mon-El fights her, and essentially some big explosions happen. And the repercussions for this timeline is that not only Lena dies, Mon-El dies, and Rain and, well, Sam dies as well. So, yeah, that's even worse because now you got no Lena, and Mon-El dies instead of stays alive. So that's insane. So, anyways, they go back. She goes back to the beginning, and she goes back to when, and Kara goes back to when her and Lena first officially, became legit friends. And she doesn't get, and Kara just gets to the point. She just shows Lena that she flies, and it cuts to, and the crazy thing is, Lena is overjoyed. She's happy, and she is like, you see something on Lena's face, like, she's happy to know that Kara just told her right off the bat. And, they end up working together as partners. And you see it cuts to these newspapers of Kara and Lena, that work together, and there's like great things in the headlines. I forgot the one guy, the one guy who had that little cult or whatever. I think Surrounded by Rain. He was actually a good guy. He wasn't a much of a bad guy. He was very supportive of Lena and Supergirl and stuff like that. Now Supergirl's like, oh, I could live with this time. This is great. Everything's going great. Then Mixie's like, yeah, let's move a little bit ahead of time. So obviously we know last season happened, season 5, Agents of Liberty. So Lena runs into Lockwood, and we get an interesting tidbit. He says he essentially all of his family is dead. His son, his wife, his father, his mother, they're all dead. And he asks Lena that he wants to know Supergirl's identity. Lena, because now she knows in this timeline, she wants to keep that hidden. So she doesn't tell Lockwood, and essentially she gets kidnapped by Lockwood and the agents the Agents of Liberty. So they lock her in the little basement area they were in, and he plans on killing Lena if Kara does not reveal her identity. So obviously there's this huge press conference showing that Supergirl in a few minutes would appear to reveal her identity, and Kara goes up on the stage and reveals that she's Supergirl. So she ends up saving Lena, yes she does, and the other guy. I bet you're wondering, what are the repercussions for this timeline? Yeah. So the repercussions for this timeline is the fact that because because of Agent Liberty and the other Agents of Liberty, now know of the fact that Kara is Supergirl. Guess what they decide to do? They kill each and everybody who Kara has ever affiliated with and who she loves the most. And they even showed that they killed Cat Grant, which I was like, wow. They just okay. I guess the one issue I kind of have with this, and yes, you can call it a little bit of a nitpicky thing, but how did they kill all of them? And hold up for a second. Sorry for that, guys, but as I was saying, I know it's kind of a nitpicky thing, but I'm shocked that the Agents of Liberty that quickly knew, well, obviously they knew because the press conference Kara gave, but I'm shocked that quickly they were able to kill each and every one of Kara's friends. One, I was like, okay, that's weird. Okay, maybe for the human characters, I can understand them being killed, But, they said they even killed John. I'm like, how did they do that? Did they just, show up to his front door and just blast him with a gun? Okay. I have nothing. I had nothing to say. Anyways, Kara goes like, okay, no, stop. I don't want that timeline because things are bad. And stuff like that. Anyways, Kara, I think, comes up with an idea where saying, maybe it's probably not good that I never have met Lena in the first place and befriended her. So that happens, and they get stuck in a timeline where now Mixie can't use his little magic powers, and essentially they are stuck in the timeline where Kara never befriends Lena. So the first thing that shows up is this Lexo suit, and it looks to attack Kara and Mixie. Essentially, Nia, thank goodness we see a Nia Null appearance, because there hasn't already been not enough of her this season. She shows up, she takes her to this bunker where Mon-El and Win are there. Yes, they're there, I don't know how, but they probably came from the future. Yeah, it's strange but pretty cool at the same time. So anyways, they essentially tell her that, well, Lena gets on a broadcast and she is like all gothic or something like that. She is straight up evil. So evil Lena that we thought That was what you're gonna get? Yeah, obviously that is. So essentially, the gang one, Lena on this broadcast calls Kara, our Supergirl, a terrorist. I was like, okay, okay, I'm not gonna go much into more of that. So Lena, so the others tell Kara, like, yeah, Lena was about to get assassinated by Lex when she first showed up in National City, and she goes away for a bit, for like 2 years, they said, and she comes back, and people said she acted quite differently. Um, Only to find out that she ended up killing Lex Luthor, and now Brainy and Rain essentially works for her, or they're under her control. So obviously, this is a timeline where Lena literally loses it and stuff like that. And because of I forgot what they actually said, but because she's like using the fifth dimension stuff, Mixie can't use his powers to essentially do anything. So fights break out. Rain and Evil Brainy show up and stuff like that. And then Supergirl, she fights the evil Lena, and she basically talks to Supergirl saying like, "Look, my mom experimented me after Lex blew up my helicopter. Why weren't you there to save me if you were my so-called friend?" Stuff like that. And it was pretty crazy because this looks like this is some kind of like dark thing. And maybe she like turned into some kind of android because she had like a piece of kryptonite sticking out of her chest, and she was like, beaming it like she was damn near Iron Man. I was like, did your mom like experiment you and like turning you into some kind of android or something? Maybe, who knows? But anyways, Lena uses the kryptonite on Supergirl. Wynn later finds the device that you're looking for, so Mixie can use his powers, and then essentially he snaps Mixie snaps him and Kara back to the apartment, and they're back in the original timeline we're in currently. So Mixie's like, okay, where do you want to go to now? And Kara finally realizes, which I think we could actually find by the time the second, repercussion action happen is Kara finally realizes that um she whatever she does, wherever she goes back in time or whenever she tells Lena, it won't matter because there will always be a repercussion for her telling Lena. And it's kind of like, see, it's the butterfly effect. Anything you try to change, whether it's in the past or the future, or I think it's something. It's anything. I think the butterfly effect is when you go back into the past to affect the future. Um, Regardless, there's going to be some outcome that's far worse than the original outcome that was supposed to be happening. And Kara realizes that, so she kind of had her, I guess, her flashpoint moment in a sense. And like I said, she realizes that no matter what she does to try to make Lena like her, bad things happen to the people she cares about, or bad things happen to Lena. And she realizes, look, I just have to stick in with what I currently have right now and deal with it. And Kara gets the character development that she finally gets from the aspect that now she doesn't feel guilty for telling Lena, because that was the one thing is she felt 100% guilty for telling Lena that she was Supergirl super late, and to know that, well, now guess what? It don't matter. Whenever you told her, bad things would have ensued. Some were, heck, if not anything, all the other repercussions for her actions for telling her earlier on would have been terrible. One, she would have died, so crossovers, they would have been screwed. Um, and then, some other, the most closest people she has are dead. And, like, in the one thing where all her other friends died because of Agents of Liberty, the only person she would have was Lena. Everybody else would have been dead. So, yeah. So before Mixie goes away, she later thanks Mixie for the help, and it was a nice little emotional scene because Mixie felt legit, he felt really good that Kara was with him, and he says like, I was happy that you were with me and that you treated me like a friend, that you didn't treat me like an enemy or something like that. And it was a very emotional scene. Jesus, I didn't tear up, but I was like, oh, I'm like, it would have been funny if Mixie was like, so, you still want to get married now? That would have been funny. That would have been funny if he had said that. But they had a emotional goodbye. So unless Mr. Missile makes another return to the show, I think he's gone. So he goes back to the fifth dimension, and yeah, it's a nice little send off for his character. So the last scene, well, not the last scene, but the second to last scene in the episode was Kara meets up with Lena as Supergirl, and essentially she admits that yeah, I told a mistake telling you, but now I don't feel the guilt anymore of telling you anymore. And essentially she gives Lena an ultimatum, and she's like this, look, and she tells Lena like straight up, she's like, look, I know you're working with Lex and stuff like that. Look, I'm not gonna bag and rag on you about that anymore, because that's just being me being insecure and selfish. And essentially, she gives the ultimatum. She's like, look, we can just move on from this. Put this thing aside and just, work together and, try to make our friendship work and, make up and be better friends to each other. And then she gives the other ultimatum of the fact that is, and this was what I really liked, and this is, I think, where Carl's like, all right, now that's it. I'm putting my foot down. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if I care about you anymore. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't care if I care about you I don't care if I love you. She, quote unquote, well, not quote unquote, but she said if she continues working with Lex, she is not only going to try to stop Lex, but she's going to go to try to stop her as well. Which I was like, oh, oh, I was like, Kara, wow. And then she flies off, and Lena has this look like, damn, what the hell is going on? So obviously Lena now she's in the doghouse now because Kara gave her that ultimatum. It's like, well, is either befriend Kara again and just push this, issue that's going on out of the way, or you're gonna have to go up against your best friend because we all know Lex. He got no. We already know Lex. His plans are pretty messed up, and it's looking not too good. Now I don't know where this could be going. Personally, to be honest, I don't know where this could be going. I feel like the only way I can feel like this could be going is I feel like her and Kara will work together to stop Lex. Maybe at the end of the season. Maybe. But then I think Lena will be like, you know what? You threatened me. So, fine. We'll be enemies then. I don't think Lena will be out to kill Kara. I think she'll be that friend. I think no, not friend. I think she'll be someone where now she's like, well, that's it. Our friendship's broken off, and we're done. We're through. My prediction's still holding up. Whether it's the last season of Supergirl at some point, I feel like at some point the two are gonna have to rekindle their friendship and make up to defeat one common enemy. And I honestly do see Lena dying at that point when they finally realize that they want to be friends again because I can just see it now. I see that there's obviously, apparent people who like to ship Kara and Lena. I'm not not a fan of it. I don't think it would make sense, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, the episode ends off with Alex, Kara, and John all talking, and essentially, Kara looks happy. She looks like she got that burden off her chest, and she doesn't feel as bad as telling Lena that, I don't feel as bad. And they kind of be like, you know what, you guys have been my friends since day one, and, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with moving on from Lena if I have to stop being her friend to be a hero. And this was the character development that Kara needed, and she got the character development, and I really liked it. So yeah. Other than that, that's it, and the episode ends off. And sadly to say, but Supergirl will be on another break till March the 8th, which I believe, if I check my calendar, is in 2 weeks. That will suck because why are we going on another break? Yes, that will be 2 weeks. That won't be next Sunday, but it will be the Sunday after March the 1st, which again blows because it's like, why are we? We just got back from break with Supergirl. Only 2 weeks of Supergirl episodes. Now we're going back on break. So obviously I guess next of the season is gonna be intense because they still gotta stop Leviathan as well as deal with whatever issues Lex is doing. Like I said, this 100 episode was a good episode. It was a good episode. It was a good episode for character development for Kara because now she finally realizes that look, whatever I did isn't gonna change anything. And you know what? That burden's off me now. I'm gonna move forward. Stuff like that. So obviously, I think we're going to see more internal Lena, moments where she's battling within herself. Should I be Kara's friend? But should I help Lex? But should I be Kara's friend? But should I help Lex? I feel like we're going to get. I feel like as the season progresses, we're going to get an internal struggle with Lena, deciding on what she wants to do. Does she want to fix the relationship or the friendship she has with Kara? Or does she only want to ruin that more by working with Lex? Like I said, we already know Lex's plan, and that's to essentially use Leviathan for his own goals and stuff like that because it's Lex Luthor. What do you expect? But other than that, good episode. Really good episode. And I was a fan of this 100th episode. So Supergirl's going to be hot. So we won't get another episode till March the 8th. So it keeps me not watching that for a while, so it gives me some time to catch up with the other CW TV shows. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. It's late. I gotta take my shower, and then I gotta hit the hay tonight for school tomorrow. So other than that, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you wanted that comment section, what you thought about the video, hit the comment section, and I'd like to get your thoughts on the 100th episode of Supergirl. Also, hit the subscribe button to get more CW TV show content, as well as get Supergirl content. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys on the next video. You guys have a great night, great day, whenever you guys are checking this video out. Hopefully, you guys are, doing great. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here. It's been Camper 15, and I'm getting out of here. Peace.